Jason Kelce, how are you, bud?
Doing great, Joe. How you doing?
Man, Jason, always better when we see you, man.
Yeah, same.
You bring some sanity to this world.
Do I?
Yeah, this insane world.
Do I?
Yeah.
Actually,
That's scary to think about.
When you were belly flopping or whatever that
That's
was
right,
a couple
yeah.
weeks ago.
That's sanity.
I don't know if that's that. Did you have fun with that thing?
Oh, yeah, of
Belly
course.
flop was like belly battling.
What is
Belly
that called?
bucking. Belly bucking.
Bucking is what it's called. Okay.
The term, yeah. No, it's sumo wrestling, but only using your guts. Yeah.
It's unbelievable, man.
It just looked like something fun to try.
Sure.
That kind of is your thing, right? Just something fun to try. You'll do it.
Yeah, I'm retired now. I'm trying to
That's awesome.
experience a bunch of things I never really got to do while I
Fill up your day.
Exactly.
By the way, Jason, I'm sure you know in the last game, I don't know if you were watching on TV or were there, but they mentioned maybe...
Actually had the earpiece in while Joe and
Oh, that's
Troy
right,
were
you were
saying
there.
this,
Yeah,
'cause
you
we
were
They were
there.
like, I'm sure they've reached out to Jason Kelce. Of course they have.
We were about to go out
Obviously
at
they have.
halftime. I'm like, guys, dang, guys, will you shut up? Why are you putting this on me right now?
I thought, I don't really have to ask Jason about this during the show, so we can squash that right there, right?
Yeah, all good, all good.
All right, what's not all good, Jason, is our team. So
Yeah.
you referenced last week that, concerned but not massively concerned, but you referenced you'd be more concerned if they lost again. They did.
Yeah.
So where do you sit now, big picture, with what's going on?
Well, I guess just looking at the Chargers game, defense, great bounce back game.
Tremendous.
They played phenomenal.
Yeah, they did.
Right?
Yep.
I thought it was really good on that side of the ball. Offensively, I think that there's a lot of things to take away from. I'll say this: watching the game, incredibly frustrating. Was like losing my mind in the production truck and upstairs watching the game as it unfolded, because they continually killed themselves with interceptions and penalties and turnovers and things like that. But going back and watching the tape, I really do think that there were some positive things to take away from the game offensively. The quarterback position, obviously, Jalen didn't play well and hasn't played well for a couple games. I do think that by and large, throughout his entire career, he has not been a turnover merchant of any high standard. So I think that getting fixed moving forward, I thought the offense did some really good things this past week that they can build on, to be honest with you.
Do you think they tried to do more?
Yeah,
were they
of
trying to
course.
evolve the offense? Because it looked to a lot of us like they were trying to evolve the offense, and then maybe he struggled in that process.
Maybe, yeah.
I think
it
they've been-
exposed Jalen to some things he wasn't quite as comfortable with.
I think that they've been, throughout the past maybe 3 or 4 weeks, they've been doing more, guys going over the middle of the ball and, more of these like concepts where people are moving and whatnot. And they have to get to that, right? They were being too stagnant. That was something that they were getting a lot of pushback back from a lot of media out there. And I don't know that's that different. Like we would do mesh concepts before, and I don't know that how much of that is why Jalen has struggled. I think that they have definitely made a concerted effort to make that the offense less predictable and like the receivers being stagnant, motions. The other thing that I really
from
liked
your
about
experience with the motions,
Yes.
before you get on, from your experience, do quarterbacks oppose motions in most cases? Do quarterbacks welcome motions?
I think there's different kinds of motions, and there's different quarterbacks that prefer different ones. I mean, if I was a quarterback, I would want man zone indicating motions and trying to figure out what these guys are in pre-snap so I can accelerate my thinking and processing post-snap. But there are quarterbacks that like to be more stagnant, spread the ball out there and empty a lot this past game.
Mm-hmm.
Empty forces defenses to kind of unfold a little bit more and tell you what they're doing. It's harder to disguise things. So there's a lot of different types of motions and all that. So I don't think there's a generic rule of thumb. What I liked from this game was I thought there was a lot more cohesive things in formations and motions together in the game plan. I thought, and they had a clear trips bunch package where they had this split zone run, then they had a split zone play action off of it, and they had a throw to AJ Brown that went for about 16 yards, and there was a whole package there for that formation and groupage and personnel. They had a whole empty package. They had a whole double tight end, one on the ball, one off in the hip, but he's inside of him position, and they were motioning him over and running outside zone this way. They're running counter off of it with the motion over there. They were doing play action. So you're seeing things where, okay, now this is looking like it's all together. We're setting things up. They ran that trips bunch motion, jetted Devontae Smith, ran a split zone, and Derwin got like a yard lost tackle. It was a great play by Derwin James. He was a phenomenal player. And that play sucked. But then 6 plays later or so, the same drive, they run the exact same thing, play action, and they hit A.J. Brown over the middle for like 16 yards, and they get into their territory. So I thought the offense looked a lot better from like all of these things mirroring. There's a semblance of what we're trying to accomplish, and I thought it was encouraging watching more so than at most of the times earlier this season.
So Greg Cosell and Rhea, you and I both follow Greg's work quite a bit. He breaks all this stuff down. He thought the same thing. He thought they really evolved the offense in a way that could benefit them moving forward. They just got to execute it better, essentially.
Yeah. He said obviously the interceptions, cost them, but he saw stuff that he has not seen all year long, which was, just a more NFL type offense.
They moved the ball pretty consistently. I mean, they had the 2 3-and-outs, I think, maybe. I know at least one. But they got into their territory a number of times, and whether it was penalties or turnovers, they killed themselves a lot of the times. And this is a good defense. Chargers defense is a really good defense in the MLS, particularly their pass defense. So, I liked it. I liked that we got Saquon going more. I really think to get this offense going, establishing the line of scrimmage, making them defend that, making them respect that has been a huge reason the offense has been successful in the past. And I think that moving forward, there's a lot of good things from that perspective to build on.
So, did we really get the run game going, though, or is that a little bit deceptive? It feels like
explosive.
We got the 152-yard explosive.
I thought he had a few other big hits. There was a split zone earlier. The plays that didn't work were the RPO kind of softer runs, and sometimes these man schemes that we do. I do think moving forward we should try and stick more to the zone concepts, gap concepts. Let's get double teams and just build walls. And let Saquon find a way through there. I think the pin and pulls and things like that have been very successful in the past for us. I think that they ran a trap play. They had a trap play dialed up. This thing is so freaking wired. Like, this is a explosive run down the field. It's right around the 50-yard line. And the snap count is ticking down. And they snap this thing like right at 0. The nose guard jets it on Juergens on the block back, and he gets a TFL on it, basically. If that block gets solidified, that thing is gone. And that's just a circumstance of, Cam could have did better on the play, but that's a tough block, man. You don't know if that guy's going to go across you. You got to kind of be ready either way. And this is where the man concepts are hard. Like, if this guy slants, I got to take him. But the ball's coming right here. I feel a lot more comfortable if I know I got a partner coming with me, and I can really sell out on this. And I think if you want to get these guys running off the ball, and they did it at times in this game, they ran some really good outside zones into a 3-by set with an off tight end, and they had some good hits. Now, LA adjusted, but I think that there's some things watching this tape that they'll be able to go back and be like, we can get this run game going if we stick to this, this, and this.
All right, so Jason, I got it just real quick. Jason brought to us by Garage Beer. His beer. The garage always open. Light beer like it used to be. Find Garage Beer at your local retailer or online at garagebeer.com. Official beer of the Kelce brothers and dads everywhere.
I had just a problem, a weird issue with the different speeds of Jalen, for lack of a better way to put it. Jalen showed a burst in overtime.
Yeah, it's a great play.
It was an amazing run. It was the explosive run in overtime, and I thought it was a scramble. And and I thought, holy cow, he's not banged up the way I thought he was. Holy cow, he's not lost a step the way I thought he had.
Yeah.
Where did this come from? Why has he been sitting on this? What's going on with that? That just, it struck me as incredible and odd, and I don't know how I feel about it. How do you feel about it?
Well, I think that play in particular, you look faster when you're decisive and you know what you're about to do, and you're going to do it with reckless abandon, right?
Maybe that's it.
And I think a lot of these reads and RPOs, when you're coming off this end read, am I throwing the ball to the flat defender? Am I throwing it to the interception, which was the guy over top, to end the game? Then you're not running full speed on that. You're kind of trying to read it out as you're going, as opposed to like, hey, we're going to do a called quarterback run. Or when you're scrambling, you see green grass, just go, baby. And I think that was a huge play. Overtime was frustrating because Jalen, outside of the one play, was phenomenal. And he usually is at end-of-game scenarios, but that scramble, and I think that got called back from a hold, right? The scramble?
Correct.
And then it was 3rd and 16.
Yes, it got called back from a hold.
It was 3rd and 16, and then he threw a freaking dart over the middle.
3rd and 16 to Devontae.
Yeah. Where he is always
play.
criticized about that.
Yeah.
And then even at the end of the game, he has the ball to AJ to win it. And, I mean, it's, he didn't play well with the turnovers. It really killed us. But you still see flashes of, what it has been and what he can be. So I think the speed is still there. I think speed really manifests more when you're decisively going after it. And he has that talent still.